The galaxy's rulers are shocked by a human diplomat. Peace is gone, war has begun. Ethan Cole looked out of the small window of the starship and saw the endless black of space. Stars shone like small diamonds and the distant planets glowed with color. He had traveled for months to reach the Galactic Council, a place where the oldest and strongest alien empires ruled. Humans were new to space, and most of the galaxy thought of them as weak and unimportant. Ethan knew that. But he also knew humans were clever, strong, and patient. The starship hummed softly. Inside, Ethan checked his datapad again. Every calculation, every map, every possibility had been studied many times. Humanity had only one chance to speak clearly. He had to make the rulers understand that humans would not be ignored. The council would laugh at him, he knew. But laughter did not mean victory. He took a deep breath and prepared for the first contact with the galaxy's most powerful leaders. When the starship entered the council station, it was larger than Ethan expected. It floated above a gas giant, a huge spinning mass of colors. The station itself was like a web, with long arms reaching into space. Ships from different species hovered nearby. They were enormous, with shapes and colors humans could not easily describe. Some ships were smooth and shiny, some had jagged edges, and some glowed with strange energy. The sight made Ethan's chest tighten. He had to speak for all of humanity, and these beings did not think humans were important. The docking procedure was simple. Ethan had expected guards and weapons, but there were none. The council did not fear humans. That was a mistake. He stepped out of the ship and onto the council floor. It was a huge hall, shaped like a circle, with many seats rising like steps. Each seat held a ruler from a different empire. Some were tall and thin, some short and wide, some had skin that shone with metal, and some had eyes that glowed in colors humans could not see. They watched him silently. Some whispered to each other. Others simply stared. Ethan did not feel fear. He felt determination. Ethan walked to the center of the hall and stopped. He raised his hand slightly. Silence fell. Even the soft hum of the council station disappeared. He spoke slowly and clearly. "I am Ethan Cole, diplomat of the Terran Alliance. I come in peace. I ask you to listen." Some rulers laughed. Their voices were deep, harsh, or musical, but they all sounded like mockery to Ethan. One of the tall, thin beings waved its arm and said something in its language. The translators immediately converted it. Why does this human come alone? Does he have no army? Does his species not understand fear? Ethan stayed calm. He had expected this. Humans often faced bigger and stronger enemies. They had survived by thinking, learning, and acting carefully. Fear could be used against them, but only if they let it. Ethan did not. "I come alone because humans are not afraid," he said. "We do not bring armies to speak. We bring our words. We have studied your empires. We know your histories. We know how you fight. But we also know that the galaxy is too large for endless war. Humans wish for peace. We wish to trade, learn, and share knowledge, but we will not beg. We will not bow. We are new, but we are here to stay." A ruler with scales and many eyes hissed, "Peace? You speak of peace? You are a species that barely leaves its own planet. Do you think you can survive among us?" Ethan nodded. "I do not think. I know. Humans survive because we adapt. We learn quickly. We grow stronger after every challenge. Do not mistake our youth for weakness. It is only patience." Whispers passed through the council. Some beings tilted their heads, confused. Some smiled cruelly. Ethan did not pause. He had memorized every moment of this speech. He had practiced calm and firm words for months. He continued, "We come to ask for cooperation, but humans also understand betrayal. If any species attacks us without reason, we will respond. We prefer peace, but we will not allow our people to be harmed." Some rulers were angry. Some were curious. Ethan had expected both. He looked around and focused on one particular ruler, a large creature with multiple arms and dark green skin. Its voice was low and frightening. "You threaten us, human? You speak as if you can fight. Human fight. How can you believe you are equal to the empires that have lasted millions of years?" Ethan did not flinch. "I do not threaten. I speak truth. Humans do not need to boast. We show strength through our actions. You may think you control the galaxy. You may think humans are nothing. But every species has its limits, and humans will not be tested beyond ours." The council erupted in chatter. Some shouted, some argued, some simply stared. Ethan stepped back. His mission was not to fight with words. It was to make them realize that humans were serious. Even if they laughed, even if they doubted, humans had patience and cunning beyond many civilizations. After speaking, Ethan turned and left the center of the hall. He walked slowly toward the exit. He felt eyes following him, burning into the back of his head. Some rulers were whispering about what he had said. Some were angry. Some were afraid. He did not look back. He had delivered the message. That was all he could do now. The galaxy would react on its own. Outside the council hall, Ethan met with his assistant, a young woman named Claire Miller. She smiled nervously. "Do you think they listened?" she asked. Ethan shook his head slightly. "They laughed, Claire. Some will never take humans seriously. But some will remember. That is enough for now. Humans are patient. We wait and act when the time comes." They returned to the starship which hovered silently in space. Ethan looked at the stars again. The galaxy was vast and full of danger, but it was also full of opportunity. Humanity had survived wars, famine, and countless disasters on Earth. They had the ability to endure, to learn, and to rise. The alien rulers might think humans were weak, but they would soon see the truth. Ethan spent the night reviewing reports from Earth. Lucas Gray, the head of the Terran Alliance, had sent detailed updates about the human colonies on distant planets. "All colonies are stable," the report read. "Defense systems are functional. Resources are sufficient. Humans continue to expand slowly and carefully." Ethan nodded. This was important. Humans did not rush. They grew with care and strength. That was how they survived. That was how they would stand among the galaxy's rulers. The next morning, Ethan prepared a message for the council. He did not send it yet. He wanted them to think, to feel the weight of his words. Patience was part of the human strategy. They acted when necessary, but first they observed and waited. The council would soon learn that humans were not to be underestimated. While reviewing maps of alien territories, Ethan thought about the colonies that humans had established. He remembered his visit to the planet Viridia, where humans had built cities among strange purple forests. He remembered talking to engineers and scientists who had designed ships that could travel faster than light, machines that could survive in the harshest environments, and systems that could defend entire colonies. The humans on Viridia had told him, "We may be small, but we are clever. We will not give up." Their words stayed with him. They were the truth of humanity. In the council, many rulers continued to discuss the human speech. Some mocked Ethan, calling humans small and foolish. Others whispered among themselves, wondering if there was more to this species than they realized. One ruler, a massive being covered in armor-like skin, said to its neighbor, "I do not believe humans are a threat yet, but we must watch them closely." That was exactly what Ethan wanted. Humans did not seek to scare the galaxy with weapons. They sought respect through caution, intelligence, and patience. As the starship returned to the edge of Council space, Ethan took one last look at the massive station. It floated silently above the colorful gas giant, a symbol of power and control. Humans had no power like that, no fleets of thousands of ships. But they had something the rulers could not measure easily: resilience, intelligence, and unity. That would be enough. It had to be enough. Back on the ship, Ethan and Claire reviewed the Council's reaction. Claire said, "Do you think they will attack us?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Not yet. Humans are not weak, but we do not need to fight today. Our job is to survive, to grow, and to be ready. One day the galaxy will see what humanity can do." Claire nodded. She trusted Ethan. Everyone in the Terran Alliance trusted him. He was their voice in the galaxy, their representative, and their shield. As the ship moved away from the Council, Ethan thought about the future. Humans had faced impossible odds before. They had survived plagues, wars, and disasters on their own planet. Now, in space, they faced beings that were millions of years older and stronger. But humans were different. They learned quickly, adapted, and never gave up. The galaxy might laugh now, but one day it would remember Ethan Cole and the humans he represented. That day was coming, slowly but surely. The stars stretched endlessly ahead. Ethan closed his eyes for a moment, imagining the future. Humans would grow, expand, and take their place among the stars. They would not beg. They would not bow. They would survive, and they would thrive. The galaxy's rulers might laugh today, but the seeds of respect had already been planted. Ethan smiled, knowing that humans had patience. And patience was a dangerous thing in the wrong hands. The starship moved silently through space, leaving the Council behind. Ethan and Claire worked on their reports, their plans, and their strategies. Humanity had many challenges ahead, but they were ready. And in the quiet of the ship, Ethan whispered to himself, "The galaxy will know us soon. They will know what it means to test humans." And in the vast darkness of space, humanity began its first true step among the stars. Not with weapons, not with armies, but with words, patience, and the quiet power of resilience. Ethan Cole returned to Earth aboard the starship, carrying the weight of the Council's laughter and disbelief. The Terran Alliance had prepared for his journey, but no one could fully predict how the alien empires would react. While humans waited quietly in space, the galaxy continued its slow, arrogant ways. The older empires assumed that humanity's words were empty. They did not understand patience or resolve. On Earth, Ethan met with the leaders of the Terran Alliance in the main command hall. Lucas Gray, head of planetary defense, and Emma Brooks, chief strategist, waited with serious faces. "Ethan," Lucas said, "we watched your transmissions. The Council laughed at you. Are you sure humans can survive among them?" Ethan shook his head slowly. "They laughed because they think humans are weak. That is their mistake. We have patience, planning, and intelligence. That is enough to survive and more than they expect." Emma leaned forward. "They might test us. Some rulers are curious, but others are cruel. How can we know what they will do?" Ethan's eyes narrowed. "We will know only when they act. Until then, humans wait. But when the time comes, we will act with precision. Humans do not strike blindly. We strike with purpose." The Council's laughter soon became action. Weeks after Ethan's speech, reports arrived from distant human colonies. The colony on Artis IV, a small mining planet, had been attacked. Alien ships had destroyed the mining facilities and burned settlements. Communication had been cut for hours before Terran Alliance satellites detected the assault. Ethan received the report in the strategy room. "They are testing us," he said quietly. "This is exactly what we expected." Lucas slammed his fist on the table. "Testing us? They killed people, Ethan. How can this be a test? Humans are not prepared for war at this scale." Ethan raised a hand calmly. "We are always prepared. Humans do not panic. We respond carefully. That is why we survive where others fail." A team of scientists, engineers, and military advisors worked quickly to assess the damage. The colony had suffered losses, but the defenses built by humans had saved many lives. Shields had absorbed most of the initial attack, and evacuation procedures had saved thousands. Humans did not surrender easily. They adapted, repaired, and survived. Ethan called for a secure video conference with the leaders of the attacked colony. Nathan Ross, the colony governor, spoke firmly. "Ethan, they destroyed our facilities. People are scared. What should we do?" Ethan listened, then replied, "Repair what can be repaired. Protect your people. Do not attack blindly. Show the galaxy that humans respond with intelligence, not panic. They may think this is weakness. It is not." The galaxy watched silently. The alien empires expected humans to retaliate immediately, to strike in anger. But humans did not. They repaired their colonies, rebuilt their defenses, and strengthened their fleets. Humans learned quickly, and every failure of the aliens became a lesson for humanity. Ethan traveled to multiple colonies over the next weeks, visiting Viridia, Talos, and Ceres III. He met with leaders like Claire Miller, the head of planetary security, and Liam Carter, chief engineer. They discussed strategies for defense and expansion. Every plan focused on protection, learning, and growth. Humans did not seek revenge, but they prepared carefully. Meanwhile, the alien rulers were confused. They expected fear, anger, and submission. Instead, they saw humans recovering quickly and efficiently. The galaxy underestimated humanity, and that mistake would cost them respect. On Ceres III, Ethan observed a training exercise. Young human pilots maneuvered small fighter ships through asteroid fields. Engineers tested new energy shields that could absorb extreme damage. Soldiers practiced defensive strategies that relied on intelligence and coordination rather than sheer force. Ethan spoke to the team. "Remember, humans are strong because we think. We do not fight only with weapons. We fight with patience, learning, and adaptability. Never forget that." The attacks on colonies continued sporadically. Some alien empires wanted to see if humans would fight back. Others wanted to intimidate humanity before it grew stronger. But every attempt failed to break human resolve. Each colony strengthened its defenses, and humans shared knowledge between planets quickly. One attack on Talos had destroyed the mining area, but within days, engineers had rebuilt it better than before. Scientists improved energy shields, and soldiers upgraded their tactics. Every challenge made humans stronger, not weaker. Ethan returned to Earth after visiting multiple colonies. He met with Lucas, Emma, and other Terran Alliance leaders. "The Council believes we are weak," Ethan said. "They are wrong. They think our patience is fear. It is not. Humans learn from every attack. We adapt. We survive. They will discover soon enough that humans do not bend." Lucas frowned. "But what if they attack Earth directly? We are not ready for a full-scale war." Ethan shook his head. "We prepare for that possibility. But humans do not wait in fear. We build, strengthen, and wait. The galaxy expects us to respond in anger. We respond in intelligence. At night, Ethan looked at the stars. Each dot of light represented another empire, another threat, or another opportunity. Humans had arrived late to the galaxy, but they were not weak. They were small, yes, but clever. They were few, yes, but united. And they had patience, the kind of patience that older empires often did not understand. During a secure meeting, Ethan shared intelligence reports. Claire Miller, Lucas Gray, and others gathered around the table. "Alien fleets are monitoring us," Lucas said. "They may strike again soon. We cannot predict when or where." Ethan nodded. "Let them watch. Humans are always ready. We do not act out of fear. We act when it is necessary, and always with precision. That is how we survive." The first real test of humanity's strategy came when a fleet of alien ships approached the outer rim of Terran space. They did not attack immediately. They scanned human colonies, tested defense systems, and sent messages demanding compliance. Humans watched quietly. They repaired, trained, and prepared. Every colony sent intelligence to Earth. Every fleet updated its positions. Humans communicated and shared knowledge faster than the aliens expected. Ethan gave orders calmly. Do not fire unless they attack. Strengthen shields. Prepare pilots. Monitor all movements. They believe humans will panic. We will show them we do not. Soldiers, engineers, and pilots worked tirelessly. They built new energy barriers, upgraded fighter ships, and trained civilians in emergency protocols. Humans did not rely on luck. They relied on preparation. The alien fleet tested several smaller colonies first. They destroyed some infrastructure, hoping to provoke retaliation. Humans responded as planned. Shields absorbed most of the attacks. Pilots defended colonies without panic. Engineers repaired systems quickly. Humans did not seek revenge. They learned. They adapted. Every failure of the aliens became an advantage for humanity. Ethan watched from the command ship as reports came in. "They expect chaos," he said. "They will not find it. Humans survive because we think, not because we fight blindly. They do not understand patience. That will be our strength." Claire Miller nodded. "It is strange. They expect us to act, but we do not. Yet we are stronger than before." Ethan smiled. "That is the difference. Humans are never weak when we control our actions. They do not see it yet, but they will." As the weeks passed, humans repaired colonies, trained new pilots, and strengthened defenses. Even when alien ships fired on settlements, humans responded with careful precision, not rage. Engineers found new ways to absorb energy attacks. Pilots learned maneuvers that surprised the aliens. Soldiers used strategies that relied on coordination, not brute force. Humanity's patience had become a weapon the galaxy did not understand. Ethan prepared a report for the Terran Alliance Council. Humans will not beg. Humans will not bow. We are patient. We are strong. Every attack against us teaches us. We grow stronger with every challenge. The galaxy underestimates humans. That is their mistake. The alien rulers were confused. Some whispered among themselves, saying, humans were clever but fragile. Others laughed, thinking humans would break eventually. But humans did not break. Humans learned. Humans adapted. Humans survived. And the galaxy would soon realize that patience and intelligence were more dangerous than fleets of warships. Ethan returned to Earth and walked through the capital. He saw ordinary humans going about their lives. Children played, engineers worked, and farmers tended fields. They did not know the danger the galaxy posed. They did not need to. Humans had leaders, scientists, and soldiers who prepared for every threat. The people of Earth lived their lives normally because humans were strong enough to protect them. At night, Ethan looked up at the stars again. The galaxy was testing humanity, but humans were ready. They would not strike blindly. They would wait, adapt, and respond when necessary. The alien rulers thought humans were weak. They would learn soon enough that humans were not only strong but dangerous when forced. Humanity's first response to the Council's disbelief and attacks had been quiet, controlled, and patient. Colonies rebuilt. Pilots trained, soldiers learned new strategies. Engineers upgraded technology. Every attack from the aliens only made humanity stronger. Ethan smiled, knowing that this was only the beginning. Humans did not seek war, but they were ready for it. And when the time came, the galaxy would see humanity as a force to respect, not test. The galaxy waited quietly, unaware that humans were planning. Ethan Cole stood on the bridge of the Terran Alliance flagship, watching the stars move past. Reports from every colony had arrived. Engineers, pilots, and soldiers had trained for weeks, improving every system and tactic. Humans had adapted to each attack and learned from every failure. The alien empires thought humans were weak. They were about to learn the opposite. Ethan turned to Claire Miller, his second in command. "The moment has come," he said. "We do not strike blindly. We strike where it matters, with precision." Claire nodded. She understood what humans had prepared. It was not just weapons or ships. It was coordination, strategy, and intelligence. Humans had studied the galaxy for decades, learning patterns, weaknesses, and opportunities. They were ready. The first move came in the form of small, coordinated attacks on alien supply stations. Human fighters moved silently, avoiding detection until the last moment. Shields and defenses were bypassed with precise calculations. Supplies were destroyed and alien fleets were delayed. No civilians were harmed. The aliens did not understand. They expected destruction and panic, but humans acted with control. Every strike was purposeful. Ethan monitored the attacks from the command room. The reports came quickly. One alien station on the edge of Orion cluster had been neutralized in under an hour. Human engineers had disabled its power generators without harming the workers inside. Another station had been surrounded by human ships, forcing a surrender without violence. The galaxy began to notice. Humans were not attacking recklessly. They were striking with intelligence. Back on Earth, Lucas Gray and Emma Brooks reviewed the reports. Lucas shook his head. "I never imagined humans could do this. They are striking hard, but carefully." "The aliens will be shocked," Emma replied. "It is exactly what Ethan predicted. Humans are not afraid. They do not fight blindly. They strike where it matters, and they learn quickly." Meanwhile, the alien empires began to panic. Their fleets were delayed, their supply lines cut, and their systems sabotaged. They sent messages to each other, asking for reinforcements and explanations. "How can this be?" one ruler demanded. "These humans are too small to be a threat. They cannot act so efficiently. Something is wrong." But nothing could stop humanity's advance. Every strike was calculated. Every action was precise. Ethan prepared for the next phase. Human fleets moved to strategic positions across multiple star systems. They did not attack civilian worlds. They did not destroy unnecessary targets. Every ship, pilot, and soldier acted with purpose. Humans were proving a lesson to the galaxy. Strength was not only in numbers or age. Strength was in patience, intelligence, and unity. The first major battle came at the Corin Gate, a critical alien checkpoint controlling access to several systems. Hundreds of alien ships were stationed there. Humans approached quietly. Fighter squadrons moved around asteroids and debris fields, avoiding detection. Engineers had hacked the checkpoint systems remotely, disabling weapons before the humans arrived. When the human ships appeared, the alien fleet could not fire. Ethan watched the battle unfold. Human pilots moved in formation, striking precise targets. Alien ships were disabled or captured without unnecessary destruction. The Corin Gate was now under human control. The aliens could not believe what they saw. A small species, which they had mocked, had defeated a heavily armed station with minimal force and no loss of life. After the victory, Ethan addressed the captured alien commanders. "We do not seek war," he said. "We seek peace, but we will not allow betrayal or attack. Humans are patient, but we are not weak. Remember this: the galaxy must respect all life or face consequences. We will act only when necessary, but our intelligence is our weapon." The news spread quickly. Messages from human fleets reached Earth. Colonies celebrated. Humans had shown that they could defend themselves, and that intelligence was stronger than recklessness. People across Terran space felt pride, but they also understood the danger. The galaxy had underestimated them, and the aliens would soon pay attention. The Council on the alien side held emergency meetings. Rulers shouted and argued. Some wanted to strike back immediately. Others wanted to retreat and regroup. Fear had entered their minds. They realized that humans were not weak, and that patience and strategy were dangerous. Their centuries of dominance had made them arrogant. They had not considered the human ability to learn and adapt. Ethan knew this. He had predicted that patience would be more powerful than anger. Humans did not fight for glory. They fought to protect, to learn, and to survive. Every colony, every fleet, every system was coordinated. The humans were acting as one, and the alien empires were beginning to see the truth. Next, humans targeted alien communication hubs. These hubs controlled fleets and coordinated attacks. Engineers worked quickly to disable them remotely, while human fighters protected the teams. Within hours, several hubs were disabled. Alien fleets were left without coordination, unsure of where to go or what to do. Panic spread among the older empires. They had never faced an enemy that acted so efficiently, without fear and without waste. Ethan met with his team on the flagship. "They think humans fight with anger," he said. "They do not understand our strength. Intelligence, unity, and patience are far more powerful. We will continue to act only where necessary, and we will avoid unnecessary destruction. Humanity's reputation will spread faster than any weapon." Claire Miller spoke next. "Some rulers may try to hide the truth from their citizens. They will not want others to know that humans are stronger than they expected." Ethan nodded. "Let them try. Humans are not only strong, but clever. We anticipate, plan, and adapt. Eventually, the truth will reach every corner of the galaxy." As the human fleets continued their operations, alien commanders began to surrender or retreat. Many realized that fighting humans recklessly would be disastrous. They underestimated the small species and their patient strategy. In some systems, humans captured fleets without firing a shot. Engineers disabled engines and weapons, leaving ships unable to resist. Alien crews were confused and fearful. They had expected chaos and anger, but humans acted with control. On Earth, the news reached civilians through secure transmissions. Children and adults watched with amazement as humans showed strength, intelligence, and courage. Families gathered around screens, listening to stories of human pilots, engineers, and soldiers. Ethan Cole had predicted this moment. The galaxy would soon understand that humans were not weak. The next major operation involved the central energy network of the alien empires. This network supplied power to many fleets and stations. Humans had studied its layout for years, using data from reconnaissance ships. Engineers coordinated with pilots to approach key nodes quietly. Within hours, the network was disrupted. Alien fleets struggled to maintain power, and stations could not fire their weapons effectively. Ethan observed the operation from the bridge. "Notice," he said to Claire, "we do not destroy more than necessary. We disable what is needed to prevent attack. Humans are always precise. That is our strength." Claire nodded. She watched the aliens struggle with systems humans had disabled, and she understood how powerful patience and intelligence could be. The Alien Council convened again, this time with fear in their voices. "We cannot fight them directly," one ruler said. "Every fleet we send is disabled. Every station is captured or destroyed." "How is this possible?" another replied. "These humans think, adapt, and learn faster than we expected. They do not fight blindly. We underestimated them." Panic spread. Ethan's plan moved forward. He did not seek conquest. Humans took control of strategic points, captured key fleets, and secured colonies. Every action was precise, calculated, and careful. The aliens could not predict the next move. Humans had turned their patience into a weapon stronger than fleets or weapons. One of the captured alien commanders finally spoke to Ethan. "Your species is small, but you act as if you are centuries old." "How can this be?" Ethan smiled faintly. "We are small, yes, but humans have survived countless disasters on our homeworld. We think, adapt, and act with precision. That is our strength. You underestimated patience and intelligence. That was your mistake." By the end of the operations, humans had secured multiple systems. Alien fleets were scattered, stations disabled, and supply lines cut. The galaxy was in shock. A species considered weak, small, and young had shown efficiency, precision, and intelligence far beyond what any empire had expected. Ethan looked at the stars again. The first phase of humanity's answer to betrayal was complete. Humans did not act out of anger. They did not fight for conquest. They fought to survive, to protect, and to show the galaxy their strength. The Council would now understand that humans were not to be ignored. As the fleets returned to safe zones, Ethan prepared a message for the galaxy. "Humans do not seek war," he said. "But we will defend ourselves with intelligence, patience, and unity. The galaxy may have laughed at us. They may have tested us. But humanity has answered. Respect must be earned, and humans will not be underestimated again." The stars stretched endlessly ahead. Humanity had shown the galaxy that it was clever, patient, and strong. They had survived tests and attacks, adapted to challenges, and struck with precision. The alien empires had learned a new lesson. Humans were not weak, and patience was far more powerful than fear or anger. Ethan knew the next phase would bring more challenges. The galaxy had seen humanity's power, but not all rulers were willing to accept it. Some would seek revenge. Others would prepare to fight. Humans had to remain careful, precise, and patient. That was their true strength. And as the human fleets regrouped, the galaxy began to understand that a small species from a blue planet could change the balance of power. Humans were no longer to be ignored. The first strikes had shocked the galaxy. The next moves would determine the future of peace and war. Humanity had answered the test. They had not lost, they had not panicked, and they had not acted blindly. The galaxy's rulers would never forget the name of Ethan Cole or the strength of humanity. The galaxy had changed. Alien empires that once laughed at humanity now watched with fear and respect. Humans had proven that patience, intelligence, and strategy could be more powerful than fleets of warships or centuries of experience. Ethan Cole stood on the bridge of the flagship, looking at the maps of star systems now under human control. Every fleet, every colony, every system had been prepared to respond with precision. Humanity did not seek war, but it was ready for it. Lucas Gray joined Ethan, his expression serious. The Council is talking about full-scale war. They will not tolerate human control of these systems. Ethan nodded. We expected this. Some rulers will accept our strength, but others will not. We act only when necessary. Humans do not attack blindly, but when we strike with purpose. Human fleets moved carefully. Pilots like Nathan Ross and Sarah Whitman led squadrons through asteroid fields and debris clusters, practicing maneuvers that the aliens could not predict. Engineers upgraded shields and weapons, and communication systems allowed fleets to act as one. Every step was calculated. Humans did not rush. They did not panic. They adapted. The first major engagement came when an alien empire tried to retake the Corin Gate. Hundreds of ships moved together, expecting humans to flee or fight recklessly. Instead, human forces used their knowledge of the terrain, precise tactics, and coordinated strikes to disable the fleet before it could attack. Alien commanders were shocked. Their largest ships were disabled without human losses. Ethan addressed the human commanders. We do not fight for revenge. We fight to protect our people and ensure the galaxy understands human strength. Every strike is precise. Every action is controlled. That is how humans survive where others fail. Meanwhile, alien rulers panicked. Some withdrew fleets. Others argued in council chambers. Fear had replaced arrogance. They had underestimated humans, and now they faced a species that learned quickly, adapted quickly, and acted with unity and precision. Humans were no longer young and small. They were clever, coordinated, and strong. Human fleets moved across multiple sectors, cutting off supply lines and communication hubs. Engineers worked from orbit to disable weapons systems remotely, while pilots protected colonies and fleets. No civilian worlds were harmed. Humans were careful but unstoppable. Alien empires had never faced an enemy that could strike efficiently, adapt quickly, and fight without emotion. Ethan coordinated operations from the flagship. He worked with Claire Miller and other officers to monitor human fleets and alien movements. They expect chaos, he said. They do not understand our strength. Intelligence, patience, and unity are far more dangerous than anger or weapons. Humans survive because we act with thought, not fear. As the war continued, humans captured alien commanders and offered them fair treatment. Ethan personally spoke to those who surrendered. We do not seek conquest, he said. We fight only when necessary. Humans are patient, and we act with precision. You must respect life or face consequences. This is not anger. This is survival. The galaxy began to see the truth. Humans were not reckless, but every action was deadly. Alien fleets that attacked humans suffered heavy losses, often without firing a single shot at human colonies. Humans used strategy, intelligence, and preparation to neutralize larger forces. The reputation of humanity spread across star systems like wildfire. Back on Earth, civilians watched the news. Families gathered to hear stories of human pilots, engineers, and soldiers defending colonies and disabling enemy fleets. Children asked questions about the bravery of humans, and parents explained that humanity's strength came not from weapons alone, but from courage, intelligence, and unity. Ethan had shown the galaxy that humans were clever, patient, and strong. The next major operation targeted the central command hubs of several alien empires. These hubs controlled fleets, defenses, and communication across star systems. Human engineers hacked systems remotely while fleets guarded the operations. Within hours, the hubs were disabled. Alien fleets were left without coordination. Chaos spread among the older empires who had relied on control and fear to dominate. Ethan and his team prepared the next move. "We do not destroy more than necessary," he said. "We disable systems to prevent attack. Humans act with purpose. Intelligence is our weapon, patience our shield. Every empire must learn this lesson." Alien rulers held emergency councils. Some were terrified. Others argued that humans were not just clever, but patient, strategic, and united. Fear had replaced arrogance. They had underestimated humans, and now they had to accept a new reality. Humans were not to be ignored. Humans were a force that could not be defeated by size or history alone. In the middle of the campaign, Ethan visited a forward command station near Series 3. Pilots and engineers were working tirelessly to repair ships, upgrade systems, and train new recruits. Every colonist contributed, from technicians to soldiers. Humans had turned survival into a science. Every failure of the aliens became a lesson. Every attack, a chance to grow stronger. Nathan Ross, leading a fleet near the Talos sector, reported success in capturing an alien battalion without firing a shot. "They surrendered," he said. "They expected us to panic? We did not. We disabled their systems, and they gave up." Ethan nodded. "This is exactly what we do. Humans act with intelligence. We fight to protect, not to destroy. That is why we survive where others fail." Alien empires began to surrender in sections. Some rulers chose retreat over battle, others attempted to negotiate peace, offering colonies or trade in exchange for mercy. Humans accepted terms only if they ensured safety for all colonies and respect for human strength. No empire would test humans again. By the end of the campaign, humans had secured multiple star systems. Alien fleets were scattered or surrendered. Colonies were safe. Humans had acted decisively, carefully, and with intelligence. The galaxy now understood that humans were not weak. They had patience, unity, and cleverness. Ethan addressed his officers and commanders on the flagship. "We do not seek conquest. We do not fight for glory. We fight to protect our people and ensure the galaxy knows our strength. Humans survive because we learn, adapt, and act with precision. Never forget that." Claire Miller nodded. "The galaxy is learning the truth. Humans are clever, patient, and united. That is more powerful than fleets or weapons." Ethan smiled. "Exactly. That is why humanity will survive and thrive among the stars." The final phase of human operations focused on diplomacy. Ethan personally communicated with alien rulers, showing fairness and strength. "We do not seek war," he said. "We seek peace. But we will act to protect our people. Humans are patient, clever, and united. Never test us again." Alien rulers listened carefully. Some bowed, some retreated, and some accepted human terms. Humanity's reputation was cemented across multiple systems. On Earth, citizens celebrated cautiously. Humanity had survived the galaxy's first true test. They had faced empires that were older, larger, and more powerful. Yet humans had prevailed, not by reckless fighting, but by intelligence, patience, and careful planning. Children learned of Ethan Cole, Nathan Ross, Claire Miller, and others who had led humanity with courage and cleverness. The galaxy had changed. Alien empires would no longer dismiss humanity. Humans had proven that strength was not only in size or history, but in intelligence, patience, and unity. The Terran alliance grew stronger, colonies thrived, and humans looked to the future with hope and caution. Ethan stood on the flagship bridge one last time, looking at the stars. "Humans have survived," he said quietly. "We have acted with purpose, not anger. We have shown that patience, intelligence, and unity are our greatest strengths. The galaxy now knows that humanity is to be respected, not tested." Claire Miller looked at him and smiled. "It is done. The galaxy has learned the truth." Ethan nodded. "Yes, but humans will continue to grow. We are patient. We are clever. We will survive and we will thrive." In the vast darkness of space, humanity had proven itself. The galaxy had seen the strength of a species from a small blue planet. Humans had survived attacks, adapted to challenges, and struck with precision. Alien empires had learned that humans were clever, patient, and dangerous when forced. The war was over, but the lessons remained. Humanity did not seek conquest, but it demanded respect. Alien rulers would remember this day. Humans had proven that even a small, young species could survive among the stars if it acted with intelligence, patience, and unity. The stars stretched endlessly ahead. Humans had entered a new age, not as conquerors, but as survivors, thinkers, and leaders. The galaxy had been shocked by their cleverness and patience. The next generations would grow in strength and knowledge. The future of humanity among the stars was bright, and the galaxy would never forget the lesson of patience, intelligence, and resilience. Ethan Cole looked at the stars one last time and whispered, "The galaxy will know humanity. They will respect us. They will not test us again." And so, humanity entered a new era, one where humans stood among the stars not with fear or anger, but with wisdom, strength, and patience. The galaxy had learned that humans could survive anything, adapt to any challenge, and act with purpose. Peace might come, war might continue, but one truth remained: humans were clever, patient, and strong, and the galaxy could not ignore them ever again.